So, I have this story to tell all of you. The story about how Minhee and I are here today. Here today as a couple, as life partners, and as husband and wife. I remember Minhee and I talking about marriage very early on in our relationship. Now guys, I know what you're probably thinking. You meet a girl, and she starts talking about marriage, and you're probably looking for the closest fire escape. But with Minhee, things were different. She exceeded everything I was looking for in my so-called dream woman. At the time, Minhee was living downtown with her brother Manhee. We had spent lots of time together, the three of us, and I already felt as if we were all getting pretty close, almost like a family. My parents and my sister had given their approval, as I knew they would. You know, my mother and sister had hated every girl that had ever laid eyes on me, but Minhee was different. Minhee was special. And though I'm not the smartest guy in the world, I knew she was a keeper. My family knew she was a keeper. Only one more obstacle in our way, so I thought. I remember Minhee calling me one night to tell me that her parents were going to fly out here for 4 days and come meet me. I was extremely nervous. I had heard all the stereotypes about Korean parents, and trust me, I believe those stereotypes. My mother is as tough to please as they come. After a long flight from Seoul to Vancouver, they decided to meet me that night for dinner. I showed up to pick up the whole family, Minhee, her brother, and her parents, and we were going to go for dinner. I was in the parking lot, just about to go up to the apartment, and I remember practicing how I was going to greet and bow. Anyways, I knocked on the door and her father opened it. He looked me up and down, and I gotta say it was probably the 3 longest seconds of my life. I think in those 3 seconds I thought of everything from him shutting the door on me to throwing me a left hook. So he looks at me, says 2 words, "You're tall," and gives me a hug. I always joke with Minhee that I didn't know her father was trying to get rid of her so badly. Anyways, we eventually went for dinner. 2 nights later, both our families met for dinner. I remember we sat down and were waiting for the first course, and our mothers were chatting away. I asked Minhee what exactly they were talking about, and she laughed at me and told me that they have already decided on how, when, and where we were going to marry. I always hear people say that good things take time, but great things happen all at once. This is our chance to thank our families for believing in us.